realizing that even in those times when you don't do it, you sit back and you're aware, and then you can realize that, oh, that's why I didn't do it. There's no reason to feel shame. There's no reason to feel guilt. You're just learning more. You're learning more about the process, so the next time this comes up, instead of you making up those different excuses about, oh, I don't have time, I don't feel up for it, you can go, no, this is what's happening. You know what? I'm mentally trying to make excuses, and you know what? Now I can see that it might just be me. I do have a 10-minute slot right here. I can just quickly do the workout, get my sweat on. It doesn't matter how I show up, because I showed up, get it in, and then move on. And then the next day you're gonna remember that, and that's gonna be a reward, and you're gonna feel so good. That energy that you get from following that process is going to be so fulfilling. What is going on, champions? Hope you are having a killer week. Hope you're enjoying the workouts, and hope you're putting in the time to love yourself and show yourself that respect that you are wanting to do. We have the incense going on. It's time for a mindset talk. It's time to get inside the mind and cover a subject that might be haunting some of us, that might just need some little bit of clarity. You might just need to listen to this, and you might need to hear this. So please like, subscribe, and share this channel, and make sure you stick around to the end, because I have a bonus feature in this video. That is correct. I got a bonus that you're definitely going to want to stick around to hear, and it could definitely change your life. So today's topic is, I got my book here, is about loving yourself. And the last few weeks we've been talking about creating that character in our mind, about who we want to be, how we want to show up. And this is, all of these mindset talks, they relate to each other. They go hand in hand, but we're going to focus in today on a little bit of the reaction we can have when we do not show up for ourselves, or that's how we feel when we set a mental task, or when we, the night before, say we're going to do something and then we don't do it the next day. So this could be related to work, working out, any other commitments that we're making. A friend invites us over and we decide not to go last minute, even though we were excited to go for the week leading up to it. Why do we do that? Why do we sometimes do that? Or I've done this personally, where it's, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna get my emails done for business, and then that time comes around and part of me is like, you know what, let's deflect it to the next day. Let's push that off. And the day before I was so committed to doing it, and then the next day I have no problem pushing it away again, delaying it, procrastinating that activity. And then of course with working out, the mindset heroes going to bed has a tough time the next day putting in the work, putting the hands on the mat, as I like to say, and doing the workout. So I think what comes with that is a part of the mind resistance, right? We talk about overcoming this resistance. Resistance will never leave you. There's resistance, and then there's a champion inside of you as well. And what we need to do is we need to continuously build up that champion, so the resistance just gets easier to push out of the way. It gets easier to say, you know what, I know you're scared, I know you're here, I'm just gonna move you aside for a little bit, and I'm gonna do this anyway, because that's the champion that I want to be. That's the champion I am becoming. So resistance is a part of that. Now, what comes with resistance? That can be tricky, and that can be where we start to not love ourselves, and that can be very, very detrimental. It can be poisonous to just, say it outright, be very blunt. And that's not the goal. That's not the goal of this workout journey. Because to love ourselves is to have discipline. discipline is the greatest act of self-love. We said we're going to do something, and then we do it. We're showing ourselves that much respect to show up and own up to our word and see what happens. And when we don't do that, we're lying to ourselves. And that's showing a very big act of betrayal and dishonesty within the self, which, as it continues, it just goes on and leads to not trusting ourselves, being very being very low confidence, and just, second guessing your every move, which is leads to depression and just leads to a very not unfulfilling lifestyle, which I know everyone watching does not want. Have we all experienced it? Yes. Are some of us still experiencing it? Yes. So we have to know what actions to take to get out of that, to rebuild those confidence, that self-love, and get those confidence back. So when these situations happen, the last thing we can do is feel shame. It's the last thing that we are sometimes conscious of knowing, and that's definitely why I'm making this video, is because this is something that I personally have noticed with my history of working out. In the past, when you don't do it or you don't show up for yourself, you feel shame, or you even show up sometimes and you don't perform in the workout like you want to perform, like you did maybe a couple of weeks ago, and you're like, man, why am I getting weaker? Why can't I do the reps? And you feel shame, you feel guilt, you feel like, oh man, am I going backwards? I'm not getting that instant gratification that I once did. And then shame kicks in, and you start feeling really shitty about yourself. And that is what leads to people ultimately giving up and getting very confused. And then it goes down that rabbit hole, right? So being aware that this is a process, and the reason we should not feel shame is because we need to take a step back. We need to take a 300-foot view of the situation, an eagle view, as some might call it. We need to realize that, hey, wait a minute. This is just a process. There's no such thing as failure. The only thing that's actual failure is giving up forever, just never going back to it again on something that you want, that you deeply want. And everybody knows, everybody has that inside of them. They have their deep wants. There's things inside of each of us that, we fantasize about, we dream about, we have these goals. So if you have that inside of you, you're normal alert, and that's great. So to bring that out of you is what's going to take some discipline, and it's going to take some extreme self-love is what it's going to take. So when these thoughts of shame come up, we need to step back. We need to go 300 feet above, and we need to realize that what if someone told you that, hey, you know what? You want to get in shape, okay? Well, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take about 3 years of your life from where you are now to where you want to be. It's going to take 3 years of your life. You're going to start. You're going to have some weeks that you don't do it, and then you're going to build up that self-love again, and you're going to get back into it, and you're going to give up. Get rid of the word give up. You're gonna pause for a little bit, and then you're gonna go back into it, and that's gonna happen. And all of a sudden, you're gonna get into a groove, and you're gonna not be taking breaks as much anymore. And by at the end of year one, you're gonna be in a constant rhythm, and you're gonna start to enjoy this. And if someone gave you that blueprint, well, 4 weeks in, when you have that first moment where you're gonna give up or throw the towel in because this is too hard and you're not seeing the results, you're gonna think like, oh, wait a minute, this is just part of the process. This is just part of where I am, and I need to realize that. Take a breath. Okay, right? Maybe I just need a day off, need a couple days off, reset my mind, and get back at it. And that's the mentality we need to bring. It's when we don't show up, or if we miss a workout, the last thing you should do is feel shame about missing that workout. You just have to sit back and you have to be aware of, why did I miss that workout? Okay, what caused me to miss that workout? Did I get in my own way? 99.9% of the time, yes, that is what happens. But that's not a bad thing. We just need to be aware of what actions did we choose over our fitness goal. What actions, what places, what commitments did we indulge in over the fitness? And then realize that, okay, it's just a simple equation. It has nothing to do with shame. It has nothing to do with guilt. It has everything with planning and organizing our time effectively to do the things that we want to do. And a lot of the times what it comes down to is us being afraid to perform. Again, us being afraid that it's going to be challenging, that the workout that we need to do, that we want to do, is going to be too hard. Resistance is knocking at the door. It's saying it's too hard. It's saying, oh, you know what? Just it's more comfortable. It's more comfortable to sit on the couch tonight and watch a movie. It's more comfortable to, to say I don't have enough energy, and it was really hard at work today, and I just it's more comfortable to just not do the workout. Well, when you take that first step and you push resistance aside, again, remember, the champion increases and resistance gets a little bit smaller. So realizing that even in those times when you don't do it, you sit back and you're aware, and then you can realize that, oh, that's why I didn't do it. There's no reason to feel shame. There's no reason to feel guilt. You're just learning more. You're learning more about the process, so the next time this comes up, instead of you making up those different excuses about, oh, I don't have time, I don't feel up for it, you can go, no, this is what's happening. You know what? I'm mentally trying to make excuses, and you know what? Now I can see that it might just be me. I do have a 10-minute slot right here. I can just quickly do the workout, get my sweat on. It doesn't matter how I show up, because I showed up, get it in, and then move on. And then the next day you're gonna remember that, and that's gonna be a reward, and you're gonna feel so good. That energy that you get from following that process is gonna be so fulfilling. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, having the perspective that if someone came to you and said, you know what, I need you to take care of a person. I need you to take care of this person, and you are in charge of that person, and you deeply cared for that person, and you deeply wanted nothing but the best for them and the best opportunity for them. If those are all your intentions with taking care of this person, how would you treat that person? What foods would you feed that person? What schedule would you give that person? If they had a schedule to show up for, would you allow them to miss those schedules? Because then you'd be liable. Would you allow them to miss their food meals? Because you'd be liable. And if you care for that person, you would be hurting that person if you didn't show up for them. So now I think you can probably get where I'm going with this. View yourself like that, and it's hard. We're human. It's hard. This isn't easy. But when you view it like that, you realize that, like, wow, we all love, or should explore that, of loving ourselves, because, we are nothing but lovable. Every single one of us, every single one of you. We have those emotions, so there is something amazing in every single person. So the only way we can extract that is by treating ourselves with that amount of respect and that amount of love. So try viewing it like that. Okay, so now at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that there is a bonus, there is a tactic that you can try, and it helps me out. So going back to, self-love and being able to forgive ourselves, not having shame, resetting the mindset, and not digging ourselves deeper and deeper into that mental destructive hole that causes us to give up and never try again. How do we do that? So what I mentioned before is when we don't do that, why did we not do that? We need to really think about that, and we need to get to the bottom of that. So what I like to do, I recommend you all get a journal. You all go buy one. It's from the dollar store. I think this was $3. $3. $3 can change a lot. Or just get a piece of loose leaf. But when that happens, the next day when you're thinking about it, instead of just thinking about it, write it down. So if you didn't hit your workout and you were committed, you were wanting to commit to that workout, pull out your journal and write down, why did I not do my workout yesterday when I said I was going to do it? Why did I not do that? And then just start writing things that come up for you. I was too lazy. And this is an exercise where you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You need to be very honest with yourself, and if you're lying, the only person you're lying to is yourself, because this is self-improvement, and we just need to be raw. Wouldn't you rather be real and raw with yourself than not? So why didn't you do it? Would you rather be comfortable? Were you avoiding it? Did you put the blame on someone else? On a friend? On your partner? Did you make up stories and tell yourself? And when you do this, the first few times it might be hard. But then you start becoming aware, you start noticing patterns with the way you think, and then those are brought to the forefront. So the next time this is gonna happen, or you're not gonna do your workout, you're gonna realize that you're calling yourself on your own shit, is what this does. So that's a great exercise. I highly recommend it. And with anything, these exercises and these thought patterns, I mean, we've all been born into environments and been programmed since the day we were born. So if we want real change, consistency is important in keeping these up for a long period of time. So self-love, the moral of the message today is love yourself. Understand you're not going to be perfect. None of us are perfect. Understand mistakes in quotation marks will be made, but it's just a part of the process, and refining your actions is really what this is about. It's not about being perfect. It's about taking action, refine the process. Don't shame yourself. Don't feel guilt. Love who you are and give nothing but good energy. That's my 2 cents. Have an amazing day. Keep being a champion. We will catch you next time. Peace.